I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video I will explain to you my plan for at least early 2022 and hopefully a longer term vision as well. This is going to be quite a long video, maybe a little boring, but I hope insightful, so you can have like a little sneak peek into my brain, what I'm thinking, not only regarding cryptocurrency coins, IDOs, listings, seed investment, but also the NFTs, my own products that I'm looking to develop, and obviously my entire entrepreneurial system around it, because obviously I make these videos, but I also run about 4 to 6 businesses on a daily basis, which require a lot of time. Nothing in this video is financial advice, it is for entertainment purposes only. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel right now. I do appreciate that support. I will cover everything in this video, all my thoughts. Therefore, as I said, it will be quite long, but I hopefully can teach you some lessons, or you can learn a thing or two, or disagree with me, that's fine as well, throughout this video. So I want to at least cover some fundamentals, which I will list down, and then progressively throughout this video, I will add more and more. So obviously, when it comes down to the cryptocurrencies, I'm looking to cover, at least for you in this video, coins, right? The coins are very important, and that's basically what I like to call portfolio coins. So things I'm looking for, which is basically short and then long term. Right, so two different sets, two different methodologies there. Then obviously NFTs, right? Because although I'm not super active in the NFT space, I don't make many videos on NFTs. It is something that interests me specifically to get into a circle of influence. Then obviously the IDOs, private sales, strategic and seed rounds. That is something I'm consistently involved with. I will share a little bit potentially on my own projects that I'm looking to develop within the cryptocurrency space. I had a good thought about that, how basically YouTube ties into that, and obviously my other businesses that also require effort, because the amount of time related that this requires has an impact on obviously other projects that I'm involved in, which this desk where I'm sitting right now, I spend about 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it is quite an intense journey, but I'm used to this. I've been doing this for 5 years. And obviously I'm in a very fortunate position because of it. All right, let's start with the portfolio, because I think that's the most interesting. It will take quite some time to explain. But I do get a lot of my information off Twitter and Discord, and that's one of the main things that I believe is truly valuable. It is continuous engagement with what you desire to know in terms of knowledge. I have made a video recently and uploaded it called The #1 Learnings in My Cryptocurrency Journey in 2021, which is primarily knowledge, right? And that's quite simple, because that's just Twitter and Discord, notifications, 3 hours a day of data harvesting, right? This is not continuous for 3 hours. This is every hour. When you get a notification, you check it for 5-10 minutes, keep up with the announcements on Discord. I don't do like chit chat inside Discord groups, nothing like that. I don't have time for that, right? But I do want to keep up to date. So these two things are basically a primary foundation for me. Now, of course, you want to know the coins that I'm interested in, right? Obviously, this is just my opinion. I might be completely wrong, but I truly agree with Alex Becker, Elliott Trades, when it comes down to their information in regards to the gaming metaverse. I'm not super interested in metaverse specifically. I'm more interested into gaming. The reason for this is that I like playing video games, right? I haven't played any video games for a long while, but I have maybe about 360 days active play time in World of Warcraft. I did that over an 11-year period, but that's still quite intense if you know the game, right? So with the games, I feel like I have a better understanding, and for my regular businesses, that's also what I do. I invest in what I know, because then I have a better feeling for things, right? So when we open up gaming, there are definitely some options there already available. So As I explained in my other video, for the portfolio, which basically we're going to start with. So I'm going just to move this to the side for a second, because this is what we'll focus on, but I want to make it like in certain blocks. So we'll start off with the portfolio, right? And basically I want to change it for long term and short term. And when I say long term, I'll write out the months as well. So this is like 12 to, let's say, 12 to 24 months, right? I'm not going to go too crazy when I say 36 months, but these are like long-term holds. Then short-term, which means that I would hold them through the bear market as well, right? Short-term, let's say less than 12 months, see how it plays out. And then in addition to that, I will have my IDO allocation. Well, I will just say IDO portfolio, right, which I need to get vesting portfolio, which is basically less than 30 days or less than even 7 days. I could flip that every single time usually. So long-term, short-term, IDO portfolio. And then in addition to that, I have something that we would call, well, I call like main portfolio, which is basically flips, right? Where I'm not too sure what that would do. And that's basically what I can use to basically switch in one day, which is something I used to do a lot, but I didn't do it that well. So these are basically the main foundational steps in regards to the portfolio. And the long term is quite easy because I would just go with the main ones. So I don't hold any Bitcoin, I don't hold any Ethereum. Well, I do hold it. No Bitcoin, but Ethereum, but specifically for the NFTs, not because I think Ethereum, I want to ride that train. Why not? Because I think Ethereum, when the market goes into like whether you're talking about an extended bull run or whatever, or the next 3 years, do I think it can reach $10,000? Sure. Do I think I want to wait for that 1.5x additional gains? No. Right? So Solana, I feel like will do great. There will be some consistent gains there, but not for me. I am more interested in the little lower steps. So I will add Terra Luna there. I will add AVAX there. And Polkadot and Matic. That's probably it for the long term for me, right? And so when I say long term, right, these are not the real budgets that I will allocate, but just to give you some form of idea of what that would look like, that would probably look like something like this, right? So something like this for the longer term. Anything else I think is interesting? I think Chainlink is interesting. There are some other projects that I think are interesting, but nothing something I would look at picking up right now as we speak, right? So I might add to that list later, but not at the moment, right? So this specifically, because I think they have tremendous potential. There already has been quite some traction on these projects before, because I remember selling this one in like the 50 range, I believe. So I did quite well on the Polkadot gains. Yeah, see, 50. So I actually sold like on the all-time high the last time, and then it went down. It was just lucky. I didn't know that that would happen, but yeah, I just got out of Polkadot there. Matic, Avalanche. So Avalanche has been doing quite well lately, like overall, and Luna as well. So you can see basically on the all-time highs, Avalanche as well, close to its all-time high. Polkadot also close to its all-time high. And Matic also on the all-time high. So I think especially with the recovery of the market right now, moving into 2022, these have major potential. Any detailed research on the projects is too extensive to cover right now, but I do think these ones will be my long-term holds, where I feel like Solana is amazing, right? I feel like there has already been made a lot of progress, right? Specifically look at the price, so it can easily go back to 250 on the all-time high. It just needs a little bit of time. However, relative to the potential of these other ones, I think there's a little bit more traction relative to the market cap, right? Cardano is a no for me. Ripple is also a no for me. Dogecoin, I don't do any meme coins anymore. I did do it once and I had a great experience with like Floki Inu in the beginning. Made a lot of gains, like 25, 30 grand on that, but I got out of it, and ever since then it did not recover. So short term, less than 12 months, I'm not looking specifically at metaverse, although it might include some metaverse coins and components. I'm more so looking into gaming, right? So I will definitely add Mana, right? Gala, Sand, those are like the core. XC I will skip because I feel like that is like the market leader there, and I don't feel that comfortable. I think it has had the biggest growth already. It can still grow, right? Oh, let me just remove those case like that. Okay, so we got Mana, Sandbox, Gala. I will skip Engine, I will skip Bora. The reason that I would skip certain coins is just because I haven't researched them properly, right? It doesn't mean at all that it doesn't have potential. I just have limited time. So when I do have projects to research, I do try to do my best to do that properly before I make any investment. I would not, I do often jump on the hype, but I tend to get wrecked most of the times because of you FOMOing into a project, right? Which is something you need to learn over time. So I tend to not do that anymore for like the last month and a half. But Ultra and Wax I will add. And what you'll see is you'll see quite a risk spread where most of the people just go hard into one project. That's also something I've learned. It's for better to have stable growth linearly over more projects than basically take like this 30% increase into one project, but also take all the risk. I'll skip Illuvium, although I really like it. So I'm not too sure about Illuvium yet. I will add UFO Gaming. So Illuvium, I will add Illuvium, but it's like optional, right? So I will not assign money to that as of right now. So the guild games, any guild is something that I think is interesting, but not something that I'm too fond of myself. A Vulcan. I really like mines, but yeah, I don't know about that just yet. D-Race, I will add. And then skip all of these. Star Atlas, nope. Probably I'll pick up all the Solana gaming projects. But I would have to research them more. So I'm not going to put them on the list right now. Although I have researched them quite a fair bit, I just need to explore the tokenomics a little better. But basically, on this list, there's nothing that I can see where I already know for sure that I'm going to pick it up. There's a lot of things like Aspo World, I think is really interesting, but I just haven't done the amount of research. And I will keep coming back to that, right? The research is extremely important for me. That's why they call me Digits, right? It's one of my main components, and I wouldn't put it on my list if I'm not super sure. So I hold quite a bit of Neneko because of the IDOs. Has just been plummeting. Cryo War. I will definitely pick that up. So that is not even a choice because I love that project. Altura, which is like the NFT marketplace, which I already have right now, so I don't need to buy more of that. I also like Illuman, but I do think it's a little childish in terms of gameplay. Well, I already hold a lot of Soul Chicks, right? Well, I'll put the chicks there just so I know my budgeting there. Alrighty. There's many. So I have Meme Wars, but it's just because I have Sidus, but that's more. I'm not going to invest more into this project. And the amount that I have is only like 2.5k Senate, 2.5k Sidus. So it's not really worth it to put it on the list. Well, I'll put it there because people will ask me like, hey, don't you do like Cytus? I do have Cytus already. Senet, Cytus. So this is about 2.5. This is 2.5, and this about, let me see, right now 7.5, 30 times 3, 90 plus 10, about 100. All right. Back to the gaming we go. What else do we have? Not that much. You can see basically the more micro cap stuff I haven't really explored yet because there's just so many projects. And to be fair, there's so many good projects, but you just gotta pick your potential gainers, right? Can't work with everything. And there's a lot of games here, or there's a lot of games in general which are not on this list right here, right now, which is something to consider. So we might miss a couple, but yeah. Let's say we would allocate, so if we allocate 25 here, I would probably do like 10K on the main ones. And this is what I would like to do, not what I'm going to do, right? So I'll put 5K on Ultra, 5K, I'll put 0 here. I'll put 5K, 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 15, 10. Like this. So the budget is already quite out of this world, which I think I can't even afford. But that's like something I would want to work towards, so to say, so to speak. Oh, why is it not working? Ah, it's including this one, which is obviously not possible. Yep. Right, 280K. So I could afford it, but probably I wouldn't set up my structure like this, right? So other coins that I might consider, let me think. If there's any specific games I know about it, I really want something that I have had before. While Turas here already. No, I think this is it. I think from everything I've researched so far, this is like the appropriate list. So we need to move into the IDOs next, which is, yeah, the core, the extension, and some of these might differ, right? I might do like 10K into C-War, or remove, put Wax a little bit lower. But I think this is an interesting setup, a good setup. So these I already have at the moment, and this is just something I would want to extend on slowly. And probably I'll get rid of a lot of my Soul Chicks, right? Keep the portfolio in balance. All right, for the IDOs right now, it's just simple. I only have AnyPad, about 30K, I think. Anything specific I want in terms of the launchpads? Not really. I've been doing a little bit more strategic and seed rounds, which are like through like contacts. It's a little strange. It's just somebody sending you a Google form and you just fill it in. Yeah, it's more of like a bigger groups of influence. AnyPad has been treating me well, but I would reserve, let's say, reserve for like a different launchpad that might come up. I would probably reserve like 15K for that. I might see an opportunity and then move into that direction, potentially. And then the flips is like any vesting related stuff, I would say. Something flips, they come up. I usually have like 5 or 10K for the flips available. Something like the vesting of Meta VPad, right, is a good example. So Meta VPad, I had like a $50 allocation. It did like 1000x. I sold on the all-time high, which was like ridiculous. Then there's still like very good volume every day on this platform. The next vesting that I get, basically I turned like $50 into like, I think $25,000 at that time. Or at least right now, right? Because the price went down a little bit, but not like, it's still on like a huge like 80x gain or even more. Anyway, I don't want to thrift off there. This is like 15K I still have investing. So every month I get like 1.5 to 2K released. So that's basically into the flips portfolio. So I get about 5 to 5 to 8K released every month in terms of vesting, apart from my soul chicks, which is like bigger vesting, which I would basically turn into flips, right? I basically sell it straight into stable coins, hold the stable coins. If I want to buy something when I see an opportunity, like my Altura swing trades, then I would do that. But I try to minimize the active trading. So I basically, as of like the last month, I have barely done any active trading because it's just something I don't really enjoy. It's something I feel like I can spend my time better. But this looks quite good because this is perfectly aligned with my situation right now. So I could potentially afford to set this up as we speak. I'm not going to do that because a lot of this money is still tied up into the vesting. And when I say a lot, I mean like more than 100K. So this could be interesting to position over time, because when we're talking about 12 to 24 months, I would say that there's no rush to get that done, right? Yes, these coins might go up, so what? That's just how the market works. They also might go down, right? You just need to take a position and then hold for the longer term. So whenever you take a position, just try to take the position from a stable coin into any of these coins, or even any of these coins on a low. But if you have to take it on a high, there will be a new high, right? So let me give you an example, right? So let's say you bought Polkadot, like, oh, you were like, oh my God, I want to buy this so bad. And then you bought in on this dip, right? 28. Then it went higher and then it went lower. Oh, my God, you're so sad. You just wait 2 months and it then reaches all-time high, right? So whether the market crashes all the way, Polkadot goes back to like $10, a year from now, if you believe in this market, it can reach $100, right? Time, you got to be patient sometimes. So definitely something I learned this year and try to apply more is being less involved, but being more involved at the same time. So more focus on knowledge, projects, understanding how things work, how to research the teams, how to get into seed rounds, like that kind of thing. Less focus on the day-to-day, more on the week-to-week, month-to-month. So right now I'm focused on the week-to-week. I want to focus more on the week-to-week, month-to-month ratio, not year-to-year because I'm not that big of an investor, but definitely no longer focused on the day-to-day. So I did learn that after several disappointments with coins that made me realize that the day-to-day is just not worth it. It's way too stressful. You won't get the results you desire, right? Which is something I would say you would have to consider in order to maintain some sanity, right? Which is also important. So the portfolio alone would bring me about to $330,000, which I think is decent, right? It's something that I could reach within the next 3 to 6 months. So that would be very good. People are often looking for gains like, oh my God, IDO launch, I need 100x. I mean, like if you're playing with 300K, 100x is so unreasonable, right? As soon as you have accumulated like 10, 20, 25K, you understand that if an IDO gives you an allocation of 500 bucks, like a 3x, that's fine. 5x, that's amazing, right? Because you are now allowed to play in more IDOs, right? If you only do one IDO every 2 months, yes, you need bigger gains to feel good. But the small gains add up very quickly over time if you're looking at the medium long term and not the short term specifically. So this is basically what we have covered so far. And I told you it's going to be quite the ride because we're going to go to the NFTs next. And the NFTs is quite simple. I can keep that quite short actually, because I'm just doing a major sell-off right now to prepare for my 2022 strategy. And the strategy is quite simple. It is focused on top tier NFTs. So what that means is that I'm going to focus big on big and not on small. Which means that my holdings of NFTs are very limited. I'm basically holding 3 main sets at the moment. I'm holding a Neo Tokyo S2, so Outer Citizen, which I purchased for 5 Ethereum. It's about now 9 Ethereum, which I would probably get rid of at 15 Ethereum if I needed the money. But that's basically quite a big hold. The reason for this is because the Neo Tokyo community gives me a lot of good information. So that's obviously one of the sources that I try to keep up. And they have the tournament coming up in January, so definitely interesting there. Then it's an uncommon as well, so double uncommon medium allocation, legendary traits on it, so I did make quite a good pick there. Then I have Solchicks, which I basically need to hold. So this is going to be probably, I won't be needing the Ethereum, so then it will be long term. If I need the Ethereum, I will liquidate it on 15 Ethereum, which I've already decided, which make me a 10 Ethereum profit, and then I can liquidate it probably around late January. But I'll probably hold this if I don't need it for the long term. Solchicks, NFTs, I will most likely get rid of in April, which means as soon as the breeding information is available and I no longer require these for my vesting. So that is the main problem. I can't sell my 15 NFTs, right? So this is one Neo Tokyo, one X Neo Tokyo, and this is 15X Solchicks, including 3 commons, 11 uncommons, 1 rare. And that would be April 2022 that I can get rid of those after, well, it could basically, it's like March 14th. I think. So March 13th is the last vesting, and I need to hold it for the vesting. So I could potentially sell it March 14th, 2022 would be the first opportunity to potentially get rid of these NFTs, right? And then I'm currently holding 36 Sin City blueprints, which are revealed late December, and that's 2021. So probably at the time that we head into 2022, I've sold most of these because I'm waiting for the reveal. I'm holding many, right? There's about $25,000 worth at the moment. No, a little bit less, 22,000, I think. The reason why I'm still holding them and not selling them currently, because I think on the reveal, the odds of me scoring high in the rarity with 36 NFTs is quite likely. And they will also introduce the game teaser at that point, so that the game teaser and the blueprint will be revealed on the same moment. They said late December, so between Christmas and New Year's it is. Only 1 week more to wait, so I think there's big potential in there, but this will be a straight sell-off. I'm not going to hold them. I hope to get like at least 1 legendary, that would be great. But this is a flip trade for me, which means that at the end, the only NFTs that I'm holding is the Solchicks because I have to, and the Neo Tokyo because I want to, right? I'm not specifically otherwise focused on holding more NFTs because unless they have a very big utility, right, which is my main importance, Neo Tokyo give me access to the Neo Tokyo community, which I want for knowledge, which I've said in like one of my first NFT video on this channel. I said I want to get into Neo Tokyo. Then I was talking about S1 Citizen, right, which is crazy. That would be my end goal. Right now, the opportunity came for S2. I picked that one up. It's an other Citizen, but still gets me access to the Neo Tokyo community, which I already see great benefits from. Then the Solchicks, I am required to hold those, right? So there is a utility there, maybe even a utility later if the coin gets more traction than it currently has. And the Sin City ones will have blueprints utility once the game goes live, but I'm not going to wait that long because I'm not really into NFTs. So I'm just going to flip that, take the money, and that's everything it really is on the NFTs. Obviously, this one will tie into my own projects. One thing, and I can be 100% transparent because that's what I always am. One thing I recently understood better was the saying, cryptocurrency and NFTs can make a lot of money, but the person who makes the most money is the project creator, which makes me look into the fact, because I am an entrepreneur. I have done, I think, 10, 12 businesses so far, and I still own 6 of these businesses. So those are still up and running. And I was thinking, like, how can I make my own project potentially? Something that is valuable and holds a lot of utility, which I will discuss a little bit later. But it would tie into the NFTs, and that's why I want to downsize my NFTs, because more NFTs will be added later, of which I know they have tremendous potential. If they will be worth a lot of money, nobody knows. It depends on the market, but the potential will definitely be there, right? So that is basically the NFT and holding structure regarding that. So far we have discussed the portfolio, the NFTs, and then the potential of the other ones. In terms of my own projects, I will add to this list later. Okay, so apart from the portfolio and NFTs, what else is there? Well, obviously the IDO, private and seeds, where I think one of the major components of my entire strategy, the foundation and the build out has been, let's say, I'll just call it NFTs here, has been the IDOs specifically. Specifically two components, right? It's basically the vesting, which would be the drip, right? That is extremely helpful in long-term potential of projects. So as soon as you have the vesting, let's say across 12 months, right, for some of these projects, then for 12 months to come every month, as I said here, on the Flips portfolio, you get like a small cash injection, and these cash injections, they add up over time. My main strategy to take profit on the first vesting basically allows you to get consistent profits over time, no matter how the market performs, right? Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but across the linear mean is like global uptrend movement, which means that global uptrend profits therefore. One thing I do wanted to focus on more is, so I did this year, 2021, a combination of IDO and private, where private has lower price, longer vesting. And because I understand that this is not half a year, 1 year play for me, this is more a 3 to 5 year play to see if I'm then still entertained about what we're doing here. I want to move more into the strategic and seed rounds. So really early, I would say more risk therefore, but also lower entry points, right? So with IDOs and privates, you're looking at like 25% vesting, so 4 months, to let's say 10%, which is like 10% TGE plus like 9 months, right? With strategic, you're looking at let's say 5% and then like low, right? So like say like 20 months. So let me do it in months. It's easier. So this is usually like 2 to let's say 12 months, right? And this is more so let's say 24 to 36 months, right? So definitely lower, but also usually when the IDO happens on a seed sale, you already have like a 4x just off the IDO. However, the seeds I have done so far, which is I think only 2, they are still to be released. So I invested into a seed, let's see, end of October, and the IDO is listed for end of February, I think. They recently announced this. So that's like 6 months-ish of your investment that you've already had to pay for. Very high risk, in my opinion. Usually there's like half a pitch deck, not really a white paper or anything like that. That is more for the private and IDO sales. So tokenomics obviously then are revealed, right? Because that's important, but the potential is definitely there. So that's for the IDO, something I want to move into. Something that takes up a lot of my time is YouTube. Right, so I have another YouTube channel in the advertising space, which I built over 3 years to about 25,000, 26,000 right now subscribers. It is really niche down, so it doesn't get a lot of views, right? This YouTube channel, however, is fucking exploding because the crypto is so hot, right? It's getting so many views. It's like growing so fast every single day that my initial goal for 2021 was my most ambitious goal, because everybody said, oh, it's not going to work, it's not going to happen. It's basically 10,000 subscribers. That was my goal. And it appears that if I keep consistent with how I'm doing now, that is going to happen. So always believe in your own vision for that to happen. My 2022 goal with this YouTube channel will be extremely ambitious, I'm going to tell you, but I think I can do it because I'm a likable guy. And once I set my mind to something to make it happen, that usually tends to happen. So I'm looking for 250 to 550,000 subscribers next year. I think I can do it. Let's see how fast we can grow. One thing I do think is extremely important is that my growth will be slowed down by the fact that I'm not going to be a moon boy content creator, as I haven't been, right? I'm more of a serious investor. I bring serious content because I feel like I have no need to make money specifically off AdSense, right? There's already AdSense available on this channel, I think after like 2.5 weeks, and it's paying me quite well. So for side income, we're talking more than $1,000 a month right now already. But for me, obviously in my position it's not really that interesting, but I can see for most why they make Moonboy content, because it gets views, clickbaity, it gets views, you have to compete with other people, and they might live off that AdSense, right? So it does make sense. However, not for me. So I'm taking like a big guess, right? 250 minimum, 550 maximum. One of the most important things for me is watch time. Not specifically how many people watch, but how long they watch. As I know for YouTube, that's the most important metric, right? So that's what I'm focused on the watch time, and specifically creating a circle of engaged users. So if you have a channel with 550k subscribers and you only get 10,000 views per video, most of these users are idle and don't like you, don't want to watch your content, right? But if the average is like, let's say you publish a video, the average is like 50,000 views, and then over time it grows, I think that's great. So I don't want to stare blindly on the amount of subscribers, but I think it's a good indication to see the potential reach of your audience. Well, as well, obviously, I'm a marketer at heart. I'm a sales guy. I run businesses, I build businesses, and basically what we do when we build these businesses is I have thoughts. I have many thoughts. It's one of my strengths. My strength in entrepreneurship is strategic planning. That's why I read a lot of business proposals. I read a lot of business plans, and that's why I have a good feeling for reading white papers in the crypto space, because I'm very familiar with reading statement of cash flows of businesses, which is like prior experience that I'm bringing in. So therefore, I'm obviously building my own projects. So I recently mentioned the NFTs before. This is part of a long list of taking it slow, right? We have no rush developing these projects. We're not in it for the money, because I already have sufficient money. However, I do think this is an opportunity for me to add another business, and it's an opportunity for me to add something of value to my audience. Will it be free? No. Will it be affordable? Yes. I already own a software company, so we are starting with the development of a software, which I think is extremely helpful, which is basically a vesting tracker, right? I have teased it before, but it's basically something that I am currently in this Excel sheet, actually, all the way here, coins, NFTs, holdings, my predictions and everything for all these projects. I'm doing that inside Excel, which what you'll soon notice if you invest into these IDOs, private sales and everything, that keeping track of 10, 20 projects with the airdrops, with the claims, when to claims, is obviously doable. I'm up to 50, 100. Takes me about 20 minutes a day to manage that. So if I keep adding projects at the current pace, then within a month and a half, I will be out of time. I just don't have more time to allocate to this. So I need to make a solution. So I asked my team to make a fasting tracker for me, and they did, which is working well, which means that now I think we can also make that an opportunity to the overall audience, right? Which I think would be quite beneficial. How much it's going to cost, when we're going to release it, I don't know, right? As I said, I'm not in a hurry to release this project, but I do want to share it with you guys, as I'm always quite transparent about what I'm doing, how it's looking. And this would be the cornerstone, right? So I will definitely take this serious. You know, one thing I learned throughout the business, and what I've especially seen in the crypto space with all the moon boys, is there's a lot of talk, very little walk. So what I will do is I will do a whitelist for this project, and I will let in probably anywhere between 20 and 100 people to properly beta test this software, right? How will this work? Well, this will work through like a referral system. So you don't probably have to pay me to get into this tracker and to be able to use it, although we invest a lot of resources into it, right? You can imagine what a development company costs to maintain in terms of salaries, etc. But you will help me grow the audience, right? That's what I get back for giving you what you want. I want something in return. That's how business works. And from this fasting tracker, I'm looking to add something which is more in my skill capabilities, so not really related to the development. It's something, so the vesting tracker would basically show you when to claim, where to claim, the countdown, the timers, the statistics, which launchpad is the most profitable, which project is the most profitable, which creators are behind it, how long, which blockchain, basically a full overview. And then we connect it with Google Calendar, so you get alerts on your phone on when you have to claim in real time, because you can imagine if you don't claim on time, the price dumps, right? So 10 minutes before the claim happens, 1 hour before the claim happens, you can get notifications on your phone like it's time to claim, it's time to claim. Which is basically something that now I have to check Excel every single day to see, okay, what day is it, which tokens are claimable, when are they claimable. Then I forget again, I need to create events in Google Calendar myself. It's a fucking nightmare. And this tool will basically do everything almost automated. It's not fully automated, but it will save you a tremendous amount of time. It will save me a tremendous amount of time, and that's why I think this has tremendous potential. Some launchpads have this, but they only do it for their own launchpad and not for all the investments, because obviously that they're not going to help their competition, which makes sense. So that's what I wanted to do, make a project based on all the launchpads you can integrate. You can see which launchpad makes the best ROI. You can track your investments. You can track your ROI, just like CryptoRank, the website. We took some inspiration from that. See some moonsheets, see some potential there. Then I'm not really involved into the tracker except for thinking about what I would need, and which is very little, right? So I spend very little time on it. The development, they take most time because that just takes time to code everything, right? It's just my thoughts like, oh, I'd like to see this, I would like to see this, let's change this, let's change this. It's like 2 meetings a week of like half an hour each. It's not that big of a deal. Then what I thought was be really cool would be IDO research reports, right? So I do the research reports on YouTube in video format, but what if we could rank the team out of 10? What if we could rank the white paper out of 10, the pitch deck out of 10, the tokenomics out of 10, including a written feedback in like a fixed format PDF style, 2 or 3 pages for every single project out there? I think that would be cool. So now it's not only the vesting tracker, it would become a suite where you basically can find all the IDO reports that we write, the research reports based on listings coming up, right? Investment opportunities. And we will have to look at the legal, non-financial advice kind of crap, right? But to get around that, basically the whole legal thing, we would make this only accessible through the whitelist in the beginning, which then turns into like an NFT drop. Like basically we want to do something, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but we'll have to see. This is like a long-term thing, right? Let's say we distribute like 100 NFTs on the first batch. You connect your wallet, it verifies that you hold the NFT, and then you get access to the reports and the vesting tracker, right? So I spoke about the whitelist. This is just for this part, just to beta test it for like a couple of weeks, couple of months. And then the IDO research report I think is quite cool because it has my involvement. I have 2 people on my staff that help me with that, researching these projects. And while they research it, send me over what they think about it, and then I review it myself. Why not just document this, which literally takes 10 minutes if we have like a pre-written template, and people can use this to see if there are interesting projects, like a full calendar with all the IDOs coming up. And then for every single IDO, we share our thoughts, and you can base your thoughts based on that, take that into consideration. I think that would be extremely helpful. Obviously, we can't do that for free, and that's why we sell these NFTs. And you can resell those NFTs, right? So I think that's like a short-term plan. Long-term things I have considered, but they're so fake. It's like launchpad would be cool, venture capital fund would be cool, seed allocation through venture capital would be cool, where we basically take all the allocation and then redistribute. But that's like all a super long-term play that I'm not really interested in exploring next year. These things I have on the calendar, which means that I will 100% complete these projects. They might take different forms than they have right now, but this is already almost fully developed. So probably end of January, it's ready for the beta alpha test, right? Which is super exciting because I'm already using it myself. right? I haven't shown it yet, but I'm already using it myself. So that's good because it saves me a lot of time. And then this one, we haven't even started yet. So this is probably going to be like mid-end of 2022. As I said, I'm not in a rush. I have enough opportunities. I have enough money. I have enough things to do. So I'm definitely not too stressed about it. So that's where basically my other businesses come in. I have 2 businesses from my other businesses that I'm actively involved in, and I'm making some long-term changes to these businesses. So that also takes time, right? So my problem is more so time than not enough ideas or assets to make it happen. So this is where basically the time constraints come in, because one of my businesses takes me about an hour a day, the other one about 2 hours, so that's already 3 hours a day. Then obviously I have all this crypto stuff, the development projects, the YouTube stuff. YouTube takes up a lot of my time recently, about 3 hours a day. Because I record 2 videos, I need to reply to all the comments. I like to get super engaged. So basically these 2 points, YouTube and projects, are for me interlinked, right? Building an audience is marketing, monetizing that audience later through this is business, right? And I'm a business guy. So if you don't like that, if you think I'm not transparent, that's fine. But I like to talk about that because, you know, building an audience takes a lot of time, and I would not build an audience just for fun because I'm a business guy. Right? So one thing I truly believe with the audience is quality over quantity, right? So the Twitter, the Discord, like these kind of channels is, I always have done in business, and I always will do in business, is like a value first approach, which basically has allowed me in the past to build communities quite quickly. Why? Because I share a lot of information for free, and nobody has to buy my shit at the end of the day, but you can if you want to, and otherwise you can be very happy with the free value that's being shared. That's like my main philosophy. And coming back to basically my holdings, obviously I would then hold NFT Series 1 and NFT Series 2, because I think if I'm going to release an NFT series, specifically to get access to the other assets, right? So when I say other assets, I'm specifically referring to this one, and maybe the vesting tracker will also run when it's like a paid version on the NFTs. So the whitelist will obviously be free, I assume. And then the NFTs might have 2 versions there. So I will list. So those would also be the ones that I hold, because I would buy some of these NFTs. I have the option to do that. I'm not going to give myself a free login. The whole decentralization would allow me to have to buy one, right? And all the people who I work with on a daily basis, they also invest into these IDOs. So let's say if we would have a supply for 100, I already sold 15 from my team alone, right? Who all want to use the software that they build, and I make them buy it because they cannot have nothing for free, because that's how it goes into the crypto decentralized space. So yeah, that's basically everything for the YouTube, the projects, the business whole time thing. That's more of a personal point of view. When it comes down to the actual plan, therefore, it really depends on the projects that are going to be released and how well people receive the projects. If I can maintain the momentum on YouTube, of course, which is quite interesting. Now, I want to go back to basically the portfolio, right? Because I think if we would expand these projects at a later stage, the NFTs and maybe even coin launches, I would have to include, right? If I would decide ever to make a launchpad, which maybe in the next 5 years I would, then it might be interesting. But this is like 3 to 5 year focus for me. So I don't want to really stress too much in this video, because it's about 2022, what this is going to look like, right? I want to talk more about the coins and the opportunity that we have. So moving back there. So we've gone from the portfolio to the NFTs, to the holdings, to the IDOs, to the YouTube, to the projects, to the business. And now we're moving a little bit back. Specifically because these things, they're quite boring, right? And I think everybody understands how it works. These things are more for me and not really for you. These are for you, but I have nothing to show you. So more updates coming soon. I think the whitelist will open in about 1 to 4 weeks. So check out the Discord. If you're not a member, click that link in the description. It will take you to Discord. I will make the announcements there. how you can get whitelisted to basically use that tracker, and all you have to do is refer to other people and help me grow my community. Okay, so the portfolio, right? Very much important. With the focus on the crypto gaming space, it is definitely most important that we take Bitcoin into consideration. When we look, and I'm not at all like a Bitcoin guru, nothing like that, right? So anything related to Bitcoin halvings, opportunities, growth, risk, chart types, and all that kind of crap, I don't know anything about because I'm not a technical analysis kind of dude. I don't know how that works. So we see patterns, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, basic. Whenever Bitcoin grows, the market goes, right? In this flow, we reached all-time high about here, right? Which was literally only like a month ago. And then we had like a steady correction, big correction. And now there has been for the last 2 days, upward trend, right? 2 legs up. And then, as far as I've been told, 53,000 is basically the point where either we enter the bull run again, we never left it, basically what it means. But if it never reaches 53K, it might be a hard time for us to recover where we had once been a month ago, right? So definitely my January, February projections are very strong on Bitcoin, keeping my eyes on Bitcoin. And other than that, SolChicks. Right? Not because I think SolChicks is the only one project one should keep in mind, but because I have an extremely heavy invested amount into SolChicks, I do believe that I should take this as one of my primary movers. So in the portfolio, that is right here, right? So my eyes for the current next 3 months entering 2022 are focused on SolChicks, what it's going to do, how it's going to do, even every single day I'm following SolChicks as primary thing. When I wake up, I check it multiple times throughout the day, and when I go to bed, I check it again. Then Bitcoin, same thing. When I wake up, I check it multiple times throughout the day, and when I go to bed, I check it, right? I have price alerts set up for both of these tokens to see if there's any drastic movement. Now, what am I going to do? Because we have 1 week left in 2021. What am I going to do in the start of 2022? I will probably not focus here, which might sound strange, but I will probably focus here. So my picks will be Gala, Ultra, Peer, which probably I'll do today, Peer, Elu, CWAR. So these are my first movers that I feel like I should move into. Vulcan specifically because there was another hack which made the coin jump down in value, right? As you can see. It came from like a super Binance listing all-time high of 46 bucks. And then here yesterday it was about 23 with the Bitcoin run. And then it dumped to, let's say, crazy low, about $14 because the hack. So it got hacked before, which resulted in a huge dump. And then it got hacked again. But no funds were stolen this time. And it dropped again. I think long term this project has tremendous potential, being very much interconnected to other games. That's also the main reason that Gala, in my opinion, is extremely interesting. Where's Gala? And I mentioned Gala several times before. Here it is, 50 cents, right? And as you can see, it had a huge run up, right? At 10x, basically. And I think for the long-term longevity, this project is definitely within huge potential. So this is also the one I would be picking up. Then the other choices are more so based on trend momentum. Ultra is usually quite stable and it's more of a slow grower. CWAR is just tremendous potential as a game. And then Altura is just, in my opinion, the biggest potential in terms of the NFT marketplace. When we look at other things like Superfarm and stuff, that has great social media backing because Elliot has such a huge influence. But I love Altura, what it has been doing, and the ability for it to recover as well. So yes, Altura has had tremendous dumps along the way, but every time it has had a strong recovery. So you can see some pretty massive falls, right? Spike, fall, spike, fall, spike, fall. And most of them are in more of a global trend, but Allura tends to dump every 2 weeks and then recover after that. Specifically here, the all-time low here was quite significant at about 11 cents, and literally not even 4 days later it is at 18 cents. So you could have made potential ROI there, obviously, if should have, could have, would have. But in this trend, I think Altura is one of the long-term stable performers in my opinion. So those I would move into first, take positions in first. But it all really depends on how SaltChick is going to move and if I can have like a solid sell-off there. Then when the days become weeks, right? So into January, when the days become weeks, I'm looking to basically take more entry into the other gaming, metaverse, if so to say, short-term positions. And if that does well, if I can take some solid profits there along the way, I will move and stack the long term into place. Obviously, taking into consideration, I do get a lot of flip portfolio entries from all the vesting that I'm being released over time, right? And that's what I mentioned before. Take a better consideration, not into days, but more into weeks, months, and you'll have a way better overview of what the potential will be. Oh yes, a bear market might destroy everything, but it might also not, right? Even when Bitcoin goes down, or let's say Bitcoin runs up, right? We break the 53K pattern, it runs up to 70, 100K, then it crashes back down to 50, then the market would be at where we are at right now as then the bear, right? Taken into consideration. So I think that's extremely important to understand, especially if you're more in it for the long term, not the short term. So when I say long term, every time I refer 3 to 5 years, in my opinion, you can't lose, right? The only thing you can lose is by being impatient, which is one of my biggest struggles because I'm super impatient as a person, right? My personality is chaotic and impatient. So definitely on that one, this is my plan. It is only but a plan, right? And plans require a lot of adaptation and changes along the way. So anytime I'm looking to make a major change, I will try to update you. You will probably see little updates on the NFTs because there's not happening that much, right? I'm looking for long-term value and a flip, a hold because I have to, and long-term. It's not interesting. There's not happening that much. If I would bring NFT news, it's probably my own projects, but I'm not too pushy on that either. Long-term information, not that much interesting. You know what I'm going to do. Entries, yes, I will cover those on this channel. SaltChicks, I will definitely cover that every single time I hear something or I do something. And then the IDOs, investing, strategic rounds, research reports, that will come continuously on this channel. So I'll keep covering that, I'll keep participating in that and hopefully achieve some great growth there, sharing the love of information with everybody out there, including you. I'll try to manage my time properly because sometimes my other businesses require a little bit of information or time dedication, which means I can make less videos. But that happens. So right now I'm still holding the momentum. Things are going strong. These projects you will see updates on Discord first. So I already asked some people for feedback on the vesting tracker. Nobody knows about the IDO research reports yet, but now you do. And these are just some ideas that I have, which might turn out to something great and might not turn out to anything. Because along my 5-6 years, 10 years entrepreneurial journey, there have been a lot of projects that I've attempted to do and then failed, which basically turned out that 1 in 8, 1 in 10 projects did really well and obviously brought me in the position that I am today. Anyway, this is my plan for 2022. Short and simple, although the video is quite long. It's not super extensive, I believe. Heavy focus on long-term strategy, medium long-term, something I learned this year. Heavy focus, or at least main focus, on IDOs, something I love doing. Heavy focus on vesting, going for even longer vesting. But yeah, I will do many IDOs. Probably 2022, I'm looking to do IDO every day or every other day. That would be my focus. So I'm definitely going to look into new launchpad opportunities, strategic rounds, all that. NFTs, not so much. Depending if something comes on my path, I will update you. I have no clear outlook on that as of now, but I see those more as short-term projects in my opinion, where they should be long-term investments. That's what people keep telling me. So I do have one, and I think I'll keep it at one. Anything else, if you have questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments below. This is currently my 2022 plan for the cryptocurrency market space, for the It's Digits community, and I will update you probably in a couple of weeks because the plan will have changed, as it usually happens. That's how usually things go. Thank you for your continuous support. I really do appreciate that. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, feel free to do so and hop on the Discord if you want to stay up to date with all the announcements. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.